what I love about you, and I mean, look, audience, I want you to know that, I mean, I invited Benjamin on here because I'm like his honest to God fan. I mean, if you're in sales, if you're interested in sales, if you're not in sales, but you're just curious about the subject, like what goes on the other side, the guy's got it down and he's very, very real. And eventually we'll get into what the hell is it with the red suspender. But I notice, and maybe it's only because of what I've watched, I haven't gone through your whole video. I notice a lot of cold call opening, which has helped me a lot. I mean, let me just say it's helped me a lot in calling into businesses to sell my software and consulting. But when it comes to closing, when I'm listening to Grant Cardone, it's volume of calls, just get in front of someone, volume. And then when I'm listening to Belfort, I'm hearing know when you're wasting your time or their time and know when to walk and, being a little more discerning. What I found, and I sold exotic cars for 10 years, the Rolls, the Bentley, the Lotus, the odd used Ferrari, Lamborghini, whatever. And, now even in the software business, it's the same. When I was in the exotic car business, we ended up number one certified pre-owned in the United States, number one Bentley Continental Orderless in the United States, not the largest dealer in the country, but got close, which was interesting because we were in a city, Clearwater, Florida, where nobody drove one. So it wasn't like Lauderdale, Palm Beach, or Dallas, Houston, or Beverly Hills, or or New York, nothing like that. So I was proud of it. But what we did, three of us, is we made an average of, legitimately, we measured it, 100 outbound calls a day, leaving messages for people that we met. However, we would meet them at a charity fundraiser, or they were an inbound call from an exotic car advertising source, or we met them through a club or used our service department. However we met them, referred. And then we put them on a program of calling them I forget the interval now, I think it was 2 months. And then when we got too many to call, we made it every 3 months so that we could manage it. We got it down to, by the way, the average nurture on those was 18 months. But at the end of 5 or 6 years, we measured from meeting somebody to actually close them, the average to getting them into a car. The average was 18 months, and that meant for every athlete that got a sign-on bonus that came in and bought a car same moment, we had somebody else that we talked to for 3 years. But I called it a marketing job where selling a car got in the way. Now, here at Chat Lead, of course, I'm trying to sell someone sooner than a year and a half, although I've been here 9 years. I've certainly written people after 3, 4, or 5 years, or wrote them for the second or third time, when they've left and come back over 9 years. But tell me how you feel about this. What I found is that my rhythm gets screwed up if they want to start talking about buying and they want to start talking about money on one of the very first phone calls, because I find that if I can get some messages into them or some conversations into them prior to that my credibility is higher, my trust factor is higher, and my difficulty in negotiating is less because of who I am to them by the time we get to money. When it's early, I find that it's just a money struggle because I'm nobody to them yet. I didn't put in the work. So I'm not hoping they don't answer, like you said, like don't answer. I'm kind of hoping they don't buy yet, unless they just want to just take it and not make it difficult, but that's rare. But I'm a little bit at don't answer, not out of fear, but out of I want to get 3 or 4 more calls or conversations in before it comes down to money. What do you think about that?
Well, I believe in challenging. So my view of selling is there is more reasons for someone not to buy from me than there is to buy from me, which means I'm going to figure out why they can't buy with me and deal with it straight away. So that's the first thing I would say. The second thing is there's a difference, which I point out, there's a difference between a prospecting call and a sales call. A prospecting call is to get someone into the sales funnel. Selling is what you do once they're in front of you. So if you ask the average salesman, what is the purpose of a prospecting call? You get answers like, to get a meeting, to get a sale, to get an appointment, to find pain, to find need, to educate, to whatever. And I go, no, all of those are wrong. Because those are all outcomes. All of those are what you call a potential outcome. What is the purpose? And this is where everyone gets confused. You see, if you asked a lawyer, what is the purpose of a trial? They wouldn't say to get an acquittal, to get a conviction, to get a win. No. Those are outcomes of a trial. What's the purpose? And then they give you this philosophical, the purpose of a trial, blah, blah, blah. So what is the purpose of a prospecting? It's simple. People buy emotionally and justify intellectually. So the purpose of a sales call is to get a human being who's sitting at their desk or wherever, happy as Larry, feeling intellectual, and make them feel a little bit emotional about whatever it is that I fix.
Well put.
So that is the purpose. That is all I'm there to do. I'm not there to sell anything. I want this guy to say, maybe you do have something, Benjamin.
This has been Jeff Stearns, Connected Through Cars.